Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to Life on the Wrist. Hope you're doing well. So today we're going to be discussing a new release that came out. It's a controversial release, but it has a lot of pros and cons to it. It is the Timex Giorgio Galli S1 automatic watch. Obviously from Timex. Thought we'd give you some of our initial opinions on this watch. Before we get into this video, I want to make sure that you understand this because I've gotten a lot of comments saying that I should add this to the top of the video, being that you guys are trying to see this watch. I do not have the watch with me. This is a disclaimer. I do not have the watch. So if you're looking for a channel that goes into details about actually physically having the watch, that is not this one. So you can click off if you want. If you want to just hear my initial opinions on the watch, you can continue to watch. So this watch is purely my opinions, giving you a little bit of information about the watch and also my opinion. So if you like that information, then be sure to continue to watch. So going into the Timex Giorgio Galli S1 automatic, this was a new release from Timex. This probably came out about 2 weeks ago, you know, the launch was obviously recent, and it was released to commemorate the work that Timex did with Giorgio Galli, who is the design director for the Timex Group. Giorgio Galli has worked with Timex for decades and has come out with some very interesting pieces from a design perspective. I think design directors actually don't get enough credit for what they do. Design directors, you know, some people criticize them because they're basically producing things that they think a consumer would purchase. But you have to also give them a lot of respect because they have come out with some very interesting pieces that, similar to this one, are very enticing and something that would be great to wear on the wrist. So design directors, I think, have a very interesting place within the watch world, and there are a lot of controversial opinions about them, but I'm glad that Timex decided to release this to commemorate the work that they had with Giorgio Galli, especially because of the longevity of their relationship. So if you don't know, Giorgio Galli is a Milan-based designer. He obviously, like I said, designed a lot of watches for Timex, and this S1 is one of the first releases from Timex to commemorate their relationship with them. Going into some details about the watch measures 41 meters in diameter. It's in stainless steel. It has a stainless steel case. 41 millimeters is relatively large, but looking at it sitting on some other, just from pictures, looking at it sitting on other people's wrists, it looks like it actually fits quite nicely. 41 millimeters is top of the range, top of the kind of size of the watches that you can probably fit. Obviously, I have relatively small wrists, so I might be a little bit biased in that opinion. But 41 millimeters, it's a nice kind of, you know, a little bit larger, but not, you know, 45, not like a UFO on your wrist. So cool size. I really like the case because it looks as if there's actually some indents on the in the middle of the case on the outsides. So it kind of looks interesting from a design perspective there. If you flip the watch over, you have a display case back, which is running off of a display case back that displays the Miyota 9093 automatic movement. Miyota obviously is a company that mass produces movements, so you're probably going to get something that can run for a very long time, which is something you probably want if you're purchasing a watch like this. It has a 42-hour power reserve, and the rotor is something that's been modified heavily by Timex. They've taken out some of the inside pieces of the rotor to give it a little bit more of a kind of like an edgy feel to it. It feels like, which I think is cool. But at the end of the day, it is a Miyota 9093, so it's going to be a powerhouse. It's going to run forever. It's just kind of a standard movement. The watch has a rubber strap and has a 50-meter water resistance, so you probably can look at, you know, if you want to swim with it, or you don't have to be too afraid of getting it wet, which is a good thing, especially with a watch that you kind of want to wear every day, and I think this is something that might fall into that bracket. Now looking back at the dial is extremely simple. It has kind of a silver tone to it. It displays the hours, minutes, and centiseconds hands, so very simple, time-only piece. But basically everything you need in an everyday wear. The watch does retail for $450, which is at the upper end of what Timex watches typically retail for, so you are going to end up spending a little bit more money on this watch. But I think from a purely what the watch is made out of, maybe the price isn't justified, but I think if they're trying to commemorate Giorgio Galli and the work that he's done for Timex, I think it's justified to make it a little bit more special, a little bit more exclusive, so you can enjoy the design director of Timex a little bit more, and it just makes it a little bit more special for him. I would assume so. $450. It's a little bit more expensive than a lot of the Timexes that typically sell, but I think it has a very cool case design. Like I said, looks like there's little inserts on the sides where the lugs kind of intersect with the case, which I think is a really cool thing that you don't really see a lot with watches nowadays. A lot of the times they just have, you know, very typical case design. So I think that's a cool touch, and I think it pays good homage to the fact that he was the design director, and that's something that he obviously takes it's an important part of what he does at Timex. Getting into my opinions, I really like the watch. I really like the fact that it's a simple design. This is for sure, if you have $450 and you want to buy an everyday watch, this is a very cool piece that you can buy. I don't believe it's limited edition, but if you know that it's limited to a specific amount of watches, then put that in the comments. But I don't think it is limited to a specific run. But like I said, it's a simple design. It's something that honestly you kind of just need. A lot of the times watch companies try to overcomplicate their watches, and I think Timex really kept this one simple, and I think that's going to be appreciated by people who like watches. So really like the fact that it's simple. Definitely, if you have $450, this is an everyday watch that you can probably enjoy. It's extremely legible too. It's not like you're going to have to squint to actually try and read the time, so that's really cool. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm really glad that Giorgio Galli is getting some credit for the work that he's done for Timex. And just to kind of elaborate on what I said in the beginning of the video, design directors obviously are trying to create watches that appeal to the most amount of consumers possible. So a lot of the times they get a lot of hate from watch people who like watches, because they basically are going to be creating the same thing over and over again. On the flip side, you know, design directors have to basically innovate in order to continue to produce watches and move the watch industry forward. So they are playing an extremely important part within watchmaking. So, you know, there's a fine balance between just producing things that consumers want and producing things that you really think, really love and enjoy. I think this is a cool one because it's very simple. It's no nonsense. It's time only. It's very simple dial, simple case, and there's no fluff to it. And I think that's oftentimes something that designers and watch designers forget about. So I like that. When you look at the price, like I said, it's priced a little bit higher than other Timex watches. You can probably get a watch that's cheaper, but you can definitely get a watch that's a lot more expensive, and perhaps not something you're going to like as much. This one is simple, so perhaps in order to buy that simplicity that's oftentimes hard to find nowadays, this might be a good alternative, especially because it's a little bit larger. A lot of the simple watches are, you know, trying to be a little bit more like dress watches, so this might be a good option for sure. I'd love to get my hands on it. Maybe I'll see if I can find a retailer that I can go and try it on. I'd love to see how it fits on my wrist, being that they are a little bit smaller than other people's wrists, so that'd be very interesting to see. Let me know in the comment section below if you decided to pick this watch up. I think it's a really cool watch, so let me know in the comment section below if you did end up doing that. If I missed anything about the watch, put that in the comment section. We are a community, so we want to make sure that we're going to educate as many people as possible, so put that in the comment section below. Like I said, I don't have the watch, but these are just my initial opinions. If you are new to the channel, welcome to Life on the Wrist. We create videos about watches, so if you like you know, watches, you like videos that discuss recent releases or history about watches, vintage world, that's kind of where we are. So be sure to check out our other videos, and also slap a like on this video. It really does help us out. Let's see if we can get this video to 20 likes, see if that works. And while you're by that like button, be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you can be notified when we upload videos. This is a really cool release, and I want to discuss it with you guys, so hope you enjoyed this video. If you didn't see our videos that we've released recently, we gave our opinions about the MB&F horologic machine number 5. We released a video about places to travel for watches. We also did a video about legendary watch figures, so be sure to check those out in our channel. I'm so happy that we've grown so much in the past year, and you guys have helped me kind of steer what types of videos we're going to end up releasing. So if you have some suggestions or things you want to see from us, be sure to put that in the comment section below. And with that said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time.